Episode number 80, the Big 80.
All right. Yeah,
that's what we call
yeah.
a biggie around here.
Yeah.
Really enjoy each and every week, but when we get to a biggie, it's another milestone, right, Ryan Cannon?
Every episode is a milestone.
That's right. We were shooting for 10 episodes. We wanted to make it to 10 episodes, and now we've done it eightfold.
Yeah. 80.
80.
We're octogenarians.
Yeah, in this in this developing industry, we're kind of like old saltwarts. We're the standby. We're the establishment, Ryan Cannon.
We are.
We were once the outsiders. We were once the dangerous types, and now fat cats sitting back, smoking big cigars, rolling in the dough.
Rolling in the dough.
Well, we're rolling in something anyway. We do that each and every week. We have a good time, and you know what helps us have a good time, Ryan Cannon?
What's that?
Live music.
Live music always helps.
Live music always helps. The very best in live music and musicians from the blast furnace of music in Canada, Hamilton, Ontario, perhaps the world. We are big boosters here of the live music scene. We're big boosters of the people who have made Hamilton their home, and we are big boosters of the individuals that we have in the studio tonight. They are 3-time repeat guests. The first time was in our first magical 9 episodes when we had no video, Ryan. We were going strictly audio.
Strictly audio, no video.
They came in one of the first, I think, episode number 3 or 4.
Yeah, they were one of the first.
One of the very first ones.
The very first.
And they came into our 1-year anniversary show on November 27th.
Yeah. Which doesn't count as, I mean, it's an appearance, but that's not an episode. So they
true.
really truly are the first. No, sorry, they're not. They're the second double guests. Well, no, Tommy Gunn doesn't count either because
No.
their first one didn't count. So they are the true first repeat
Guests.
offenders.
There you go. And you got to love it. So, of course, who we have in the studio? We got some social animals in the studio. We got Chris and Christa Bradbury, who are some of our favoriteest people. They are a husband and wife team, but also a musical entity. And to see them work together and not any bickering and backstabbing that we can see anyway up front.
We're definitely some of our favorite people.
Yeah, we are too.
Always good
Behind
humor.
closed doors.
Yes.
No.
But what you put
not
out
at
for
all.
us is the positivity and the confidence.
Oh
and,
yeah,
you
we're
know.
great actors, aren't we?
Yes, and
It's
the
pretty good.
world needs great actors. It's too many crappy actors out there.
That's right.
It is very good to be back. Thanks for having
Thanks.
us back
Yeah,
in.
thank you for having us.
So,
I love you boys.
You going a bit crazy? We should say, okay, we've got their
know.
big album release. I still call it an album. It's
Yeah,
in
so
CD
do we.
form, but it's an album.
It is.
And
do
it's
too.
something they've been working on a long time, and they've got it just the way they want to, and they've got the band sounding just the way
right.
they want to. They have the venue that they want
Yeah.
to play at,
Oh,
and
yes.
it's this Saturday night at the Pearl Company, 16 Stephen Street in
Yes,
Hamilton,
indeed.
Ontario. There'll be a link on the podcast to get to that, but I imagine things are just percolating and bubbling, getting to the
Yeah,
point
we have
now.
our final rehearsal with the band after we leave here. Actually, we're going to set up for rehearsal, and the rehearsals have been fantastic. Really,
Aye.
really exciting.
The right boys. We got the right boys. Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to that. Polish out a few of the little nicks and things, and be ready to go for Saturday.
Our heads are just buzzing. We've had very little sleep the past couple weeks. This whole month has just been gearing up, and then the past 2 weeks it's like it's 3:30 in the morning and my head is still racing. What am I forgetting? What do we got to do? It's just I'd like to sleep.
It's like I always
nuts.
say it's so much like having a baby, you know,
Yeah,
because it's a
yeah,
process
right.
that builds up and it becomes more expensive
Absolutely.
and more cumbersome and more difficult.
Yeah.
And then you have this big show, and then there's this whooshing
Yes.
sound where it's like, okay, I
Yeah.
can either get really depressed because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
over,
sure.
or I can realize I got a kid
Yeah.
to raise.
Yeah.
Get it out
That's
in the
right.
world.
Keep going. Yeah.
And what if it fails?
Who can I blame?
Yeah, that's right.
So, those people who are interested in your backstory, they can check out episode. I think it's 2 or 3. I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3, but one of the very first ones. Interesting story how you guys got together. So we'll kind of pick it up from where we started in November, December 2012, and that was you had a demo. And it was really I thought it was quite a good demo, but you had a collection of songs, and I would assume at that point you're like, okay, we are going to take this to the next level. So let's pick it up from there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the demo was just we had begun in the studio, and we put some ideas down. We had 3 or 4 tracks on the go or something, and before we went too much further into because we hadn't chosen all the songs at that stage. The album hadn't gelled as far as telling us what it wanted, and so we thought we'd finish a couple off just with a rough mix, no mastering, and give it to a few people and put the feelers out as far as how do you think this is going, and the feedback was great, of course, and then after that the album told us where it wanted to go. So once we chose the 3 songs that were on the demo disc, they were concrete. We did some more recording with them, sweetening and
Adding
some
things as
additions.
well,
Yeah,
some additions. So
no
royalties
arrangement changes, but just some sweetening, and then from then on, it was as our producer promised it would be. The album began to tell us what was next, and so we'd start working on a song, and it would take a direction that just suited everything else, and the whole thing flowed beautifully
It was
right to
so
the end.
So you at no point put yourself under that stress and pressure of having a completion date where you needed to have it done.
No, not at all. Thankfully, we didn't have to do that. Maybe in the future but that's okay.
Yeah.
It didn't happen this time, so that's all right. I'll deal with it when it comes, right?
Yeah.
No, it was so easygoing, and I mean, there was some tough parts. I had to
You started playing keys a lot.
I did start playing keys, yeah, and I've noodled on the piano my whole life, just play by ear and stuff, and not incredibly well, just really novice stuff. So, and I wanted to play an instrument. I wanted piano in the tracks and organ and something a little bit that underlying epic sound or something under there. So it was just the right choice to start to learn, and I learned a year ago. And now it's all over the album. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about it. The name, first of all, interesting. I don't know if you can get a good read on that. Everything's a little bit backwards. There we go. INNOMINATE.
Yeah.
INNOMINATE.
Innominate.
INNOMINATE. But
Yeah.
Okay. So
innominate is from the Latin innominatus, which very simply put means that which is unnamed. And we thought it was corny enough to be catchy, right?
Right.
So it's an album title that means there's no album title. Yeah.
Yes.
And also if you wanted to look at it in a roundabout sense, you could say, well, now the album songs speak for themselves. So there's not a title to indicate.
Very nice.
It's not called Sand on the Seashore or
And then all the songs relate to that,
Yes.
so because every song is different. Every song speaks to a different genre.
And as you
And
say,
so
it did take quite a while to make, and so therefore it's and because you write what you know, or in our case you write what you know, that's the culmination of our 8+ years together and experiences before that we drew on. So it's really hard to put a title on your life for that many years. So
and the relationship with Jordan Abraham.
Yeah.
Like, tell me, like you touched on that before, where it's like, wow, this is something that we really needed. We needed someone with a
vision,
a perspective, kind of take what we're doing and take it out of our prejudices and our habits.
at the risk of hogging the interview, but I like talking about this part.
He's a real talent.
When we started,
So many
it's
levels,
every
yeah.
musician's dream that wants to record, that they can find a producer and a studio that believes in them and their music enough to kind of take them under their wing and say, here, we'll help you out as much as we can. Obviously, it's a business, we have to make money, but I believe in this project, so I'm with you all the way. In Jordan, we found that person, and also a dear friend. All of it happened really quickly. We met. He saw us perform at a
It was Acid Queen.
something.
I think
It was
that's
at
where we met him, Acid Queen.
at a fundraiser for Christopher Claus and a Who show, and we did a Who
Yeah.
song, and he saw us there, and he went, "Wow, you guys are good," and
You guys are good. It was kind of very calm. I think there was more swear words in there, but it was.
anyway, so
won't.
so we ended up working together, and it's been a great friendship and a great working relationship, and he is our mentor.
Well,
Yeah.
as I said, it's going to be a wonderful show on Saturday night at the Pearl Company, 16 Stephen Street in Hamilton, Ontario. Wonderful project that's come to fruition. We're going to give you a little early taste of it, though. We're going to spin a number of tracks off it, and we're going to start off with Today I Made It Rain, which is really the song that started it all.
It was the first tune that we brought down here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We played that one for you. Yeah, and then just acoustic. And now it is exactly how we want it to be, with that underlying rumble and that
So what
darkness,
happened was
yeah.
when we were trying to work out a running order for the songs, that one came up as everybody's first choice, because it's almost like this is the evolution of Chris and Christa from the folk duo into the rock band. And Today I Made It Rain, the way we've arranged it, it's like that. It starts off and it could just be Christa and I with an acoustic guitar, and then gradually as the song builds you'll hear it. The band comes in and then ends up being quite a heavy outro. So,
well, from the brand new release INNOMINATE, The Social Animals, right here on barbershoppodcast.com. Today I Made It Rain.
My friends have come and gone, but that don't mean nothing. See, I might be lying, I might say, just not today. It seems that I've said too much, and I've bled with every thought. Nothing ever seems to change, especially not today. So get me off this useless rock. I'm spinning around counterclock before I
Today I Made It Rain, the song that started it all, and certainly a beefier, thicker, richer,
Yes.
lusher
Yes.
arrangement.
Yes.
That is radio ready, as they used to
Yeah,
say.
thank
That's
you.
good stuff. So it
Yeah.
still make you
Very
tingle a
happy
little
with
bit
it.
when you hear it?
I still love it.
It
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm still listening to little bits of like, oh, would I have done something different there? You know?
Yeah.
Like, let it go. It's fine the way
yeah,
it is.
and
You know,
it's
move
nice
on.
that you don't
Yeah.
get sick and tired of it, because we're very self-critical, and as
Oh, yeah.
time goes on, you tend to fall out of love with songs sometimes, and I guess this, again, like a child, you're seeing its progression where it's like,
That's
you
it.
have tears in your eyes and you're
Oh, yes.
sending it off to college, and it's,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
I'm not
yeah.
sure I'd ever
Kinda
be
hoping.
that person that was so sick and tired of playing one of my own songs. If it was a hit and people still liked hearing it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be fine playing
But they
it. I think.
constantly evolve anyway, and I think that's part of why we don't get sick of it. This song has gone through, like, I can't even count on both hands how many transformations this song alone has gone through. And all of them that we have on the track, and then there were some that we had written while the making of this album, while we were making this album, we wrote a couple songs that are on it as well. And it's
It's nice
just
when you're in that process and
evolution
then the
thing.
juices are flowing. That's
Yes.
a lot of the best stuff comes out of that.
Well, and
Yeah.
like
Time
I
you're
said,
in
the
the
album
studio.
was telling us how it wanted to go. So some of the songs we dropped because we were in that writing mode where we were writing a better song than the one we were going to be using.
Yeah.
And as soon as that was finished, we just, whoop, that's going on the
Were you
album.
both
you know.
Yeah.
seeing eye to eye at this point? We're agreeing on
Oh
the
yeah,
songs?
we
or there
haven't.
was- yeah.
We have such a ridiculous relationship. We're just from the same pod.
Yeah, you don't waste a lot of time
No,
with politics.
no,
and it's like,
we
I can't
don't-
say this because he'll get angry.
No, God, no. Yeah, that's relationships we can't stand. We see
Yeah.
people that are like that. We're like, oh, just walk away.
yeah, all
Why
the
bother?
stress you're carrying
Why do you
for
bother?
nothing.
If you can't get along, just don't bother.
So
Yeah.
tell me about the players on that tune. Who's playing?
So well, that one was the beginning,
it's
wasn't it?
all us. Except
Every-
for the drums and bass.
Yeah.
I did all the guitars.
Nice.
I did.
In fact, I did
Yeah.
all the guitars right across the album. Krista did the keyboards
I did-
right across the album.
I
we
did piano and organ and Rhodes, because there's really cool Rhodes at the studio. So we put that on "I'm With You Awake," which is on there. Yeah,
We did all the vocals.
all the vocals, all the backup vocals too.
Nice.
Yeah.
And sometimes we were in the vocal booth together just doing all these harmonies, and it was really cool. Kind of choral, I guess.
Yeah.
But then, the first half of the album was Orange McFarlane on bass,
Yeah.
as you know.
Yeah.
Second
Very
half
clever
was
man.
a fellow from Toronto, another Australian called Jared Ross.
Yeah. That's another clever man.
And for the live show, we have another guitarist named Jeff Liebka.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He plays alongside Johannes Lindstedt, the flamenco-y sort of stuff.
That
So he's really a versatile guitarist and lovely guy.
And your drummer?
Drummer is David Guild.
Yeah.
He's been with
He's
us
with
since
us from the
day one.
beginning.
Yep.
Since we-
Yeah, he's co-producer of this album as well. So when we first started in there, it was, as you know, as studios go, you put the drum track down.
Yeah.
After that, you get the scratch, and you put the drum track down. Well, it's just when you see Dave's mind working. He's like, I know what I want to do with this, and he just goes and he does it. But he sees the end result
Yeah.
of what the song is
He
going
hears
to
the
be.
arrangement when he's playing.
He does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
before we do.
Yeah, before we do.
And so sometimes it's a bit of a
Good.
surprise.
And you have to have that trusting relationship.
Yeah.
with people.
Absolutely.
You bring someone in
Yeah.
as just a hired gun, it doesn't
Yeah.
always work out.
No.
Well, the good thing about
No,
Dave,
we were
too,
fortunate.
is-
We had lots of time
Yeah.
with Dave that we could work with him.
And the good thing
Yeah.
about Dave is he's not afraid to be told no. So,
Yeah, yep.
so
It's true.
a couple of really, because he has really close pop sensibilities. So sometimes he wanted to inject some of his pop stuff into a beat of one of the songs, and it's been too much for us, and we've just gone, no, no. And he goes, okay,
yeah.
just putting it out there, you know.
No.
And you need that. So we want to get to another cut. We want to go to the title cut from the album.
How does that, what's that word again?
It's inanimate.
Inanimate. Innominate. Would it be easier if you say nominate?
INNOMINATE.
Yeah.
Innominate.
Innominate.
Yes.
Nominate.
Okay, so this song, we have a friend who's, I think he was 90 years old this year, World War II veteran named Pat. We don't know his last name. We met him while we were busking, out the front of the liquor store.
Way.
And he would come by and he'd talk to us, enjoy our music, and he'd give us a beer or something like that.
No, he used to give us $10.
That's
because
right.
we're always excited when
Yeah.
he saw Pat. We're like,
"Oh, we're gonna eat."
man, we're gonna eat tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. He'd
And then
always
I-
give us $10. Yeah,
I
we're
started
like, That's
him-
too much. Pat is like, no.
I started him
Yeah.
talking war stories, and he would sit there and talk to us about the war, and then he'd cry, inevitably all the time. But he told us some amazing stories, and this song was kind of inspired by the stories that he told.
Yeah.
Everything stems from something
Yep.
real. It's great, and it's
yeah.
forever.
It is
It's,
forever.
You know,
And like those boys say all the time, they say, just remember the good times. You always remember the good times, and he would say that. Oh, I got shivers just saying that.
yeah.
Oh,
Well, you're
yeah.
gonna get shivers when
I
you
love
hear
Pat.
it. We're gonna play it for you right now at barbershoppodcast.com.
Of this air, so swiftly taken. No man gets to choose. Will your strength linger through? Of this air, of this air, your strength I now confide. It reduces thicken walls that you did touch. I wander soft, feather-like touch. Of this air, of this air, found in moments, trace the sun. Of this air, of this air, no one could have seen just how it reduces of this air, of this air. Collected moments, yet we trace the sun. Of this air, of this air, no one could have seen just how it reduces me.
barbershoppodcast.com. In the studio with Social Animals, some of our favoriteest people. You liking the way that's sounding, Ryan Cannon? I know you are.
Of course,
You're
I
a bit
am.
of a music
I'm always
snob.
loving it.
you know?
I was thinking too halfway through it. I've never heard you guys recorded before. It's weird. I've only ever heard you guys perform live. So
really?
it sounds awesome. Like I would be able to tell even if I heard it across the room. I would know it was Social Animals.
Even though it's us.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
perfect.
it sounds awesome.
Great.
I really
Thank
like
you.
it.
Original music,
you.
real music from the heart. produced for the right reasons, and you'll be able to purchase this at the local record stores or online. I highly recommend that you do it. It helps perpetuate the industry, and we'll call it that, but it keeps people doing it, and it really helps you for the price of $1 a song. You got them forever, and these are things that your friends will hear. It's like, wow, I really like that, and it's not something you hear on the radio every day. And I haven't bought a commercial record in years. I just have,
neither have I.
Probably hundreds at this point of independently produced music.
Yeah,
and it's all I listen to, and it's great.
It is great, isn't it? To surround yourself with things that you wouldn't normally go with the flow, and everybody, the mainstream is, we're buying this, and so you go there.
Yeah.
Then speaking of mainstream as well, that we decided to just sell off of our website for now with the album. We were going to, maybe eventually we'll do iTunes, we'll have to at some point, but we wanted to just be the independent owner and sale of that album, so you'll be able to
eventually, when I work out how to put a shopping cart on my WordPress.
Chris built the website. No, we're learning stages. I'm the confident Bill. I'm like, you're doing great, baby.
Yes.
Mopping the brow. Just keep going.
It can be frustrating. Not everyone has a Ryan.
That's right.
To be able to do that.
Oh, so Ryan is the man, is he?
He's the man. Yeah,
He's the man.
He does that. He's going to try to teach Gary.
Awesome.
So,
I think the teaching's over. I think he's doing pretty good.
No, as far as doing the RSS feeds and then the web page and all.
Okay,
all
Ryan,
really
Ken and you and I need to talk about shopping carts
After
this interview because
I'll share some WordPress knowledge with you.
There you go.
Yeah.
But that's a big part of it, right? Like, now you've got something, and then this is something a lot of artists do. They put so much into producing a CD, and then they sit on it.
And
then they wind up being coasters or going in a closet because they can't stand to look at them anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the problems, and if you read Lesford's blog, or I forget the guy's name actually, but he advises the music industry just with opinion and a lot of inside knowledge. But it's really an interesting read. And where was I going with that?
With people just sitting on their seats.
Right. So and he's saying, well, let me go back to something Fred Eaglesmith said once, and he said, these days anyone can make an album, and he said the problem is that they do, and they make an album and then they sit on their couch, and they can put it on iTunes and it can be up there competing with everybody else's album who's out there trying to work hard and sell it, but.
Where's the love in that?
This day and age, what's missing is the drive to perform live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where our main focus is. People say, how are you going to sell this album? At the gigs.
Yes.
That's,
And that's really where it is happening, and that'll grow into merch. It's like people wanted to be part of this. It's like, I want a T-shirt.
Absolutely.
I want something, and then so you build your core following, and then those people will bring one or two new people to the show the next time we come in.
Yeah.
And I've seen out-of-town bands come in. Lee Fields and the Expressions, for example, came in first time. There was 15 or 20 people at the St. Hollywood. Next time it came in, there was 75 people. Next time there was 150 people.
That's right.
Because people talk and say, got to see this.
Oh,
and
yeah,
check them out.
absolutely. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Showing their love on stage, showing what they are doing.
And it's a tough town, and you have to do that.
So fun.
You really have to put out and show that you're the real deal.
It does, and not let that kill you, that you lose any of that drive or that ambition, and just let your CD collect and go, oh, look at all the boxes from Indie Pool. You can't cry over it. You got to push it, push. That's what this is. It's all for love, right?
Yeah, and if you believe it and do it for the right reason, it's not difficult. But it's like anything else, you have to do it.
Absolutely.
It's a competitive, and people turn a blind eye, and they get inundated. And
well,
so
at the end of the
don't be afraid
day,
to hit them over the head with it. That's what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, it's a commercial product that we're pushing,
is.
and so there needs to be a strategy.
You are
as
your
well.
own corporation, and you got either you're going to make it or not. You got to push it.
Are there any tickets still available?
There are some tickets
still
available. Yes,
There's
they
a
will be
couple.
available at the door as well.
we can if
It's only $10.
Yeah, it's only $10, and we can make arrangements from. We have a couple of radio appearances to do, but we can still make arrangements to meet for coffee if anybody wants a ticket. We're happy to deliver them and see see in person.
Now that is personal service.
That's personal
You get the
service.
real deal, and for
Absolutely.
$10, you know
we
that's
get to see people we haven't
you can't even
met
see a
before,
movie
so-
for $10 anymore. I
No.
don't
You know,
think.
we wanted to make it 10, and it's also the Pearl Company, as you probably know, is an all ages venue too.
Yes.
So if you know, if somebody has kids and they want to, it's an early night too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be going on at 9. We'll be done by 10.
There's
There'll be
nothing
snacks,
scary, nothing overly aggressive. It's
and
just rock.
and everybody can afford it. So
Yeah.
so that's what we
And,
wanted to make it
and
completely
it's nice to have a
accessible.
soft seater like that in,
Yeah.
a nice venue where you don't have to compete with a bar.
That's right.
And
Or
people-
televisions.
Exactly.
You know,
It's a great experience.
And we're not having 2 or 3 opening bands wearing everybody out before we come on either.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just us. That's what we're gonna
Yeah.
do.
Excellent. We're gonna hit another tune off the album. Tell us about "I Can't Breathe" because again I've heard this song
Yes.
before.
Right.
Tell me about what it's turned into now.
Oh, geez, it has turned into a bit of a monster.
It
Which
had
is
a lot
great.
of. It had a lot
Yeah.
of.
Well, actually, what happened in the studio was I recorded the riff, the main riff on the acoustic, and that was in the cans. And then we brought in the electric later on, and I played the electric part, put a lead break on it, and we were doing all this work. When it came to mixing, I was confused, and I'm sitting there with the boys, and I'm saying, "What's going on?" And he said, "You do realise this is an acoustic-driven song, don't you?" And I went, "Oh, whoa, wait a minute." And once I cottoned on to which way they were going, and it's an acoustic-driven song, and it's really interesting because it's quite heavy, but the underlying driving force is the acoustic. So once I realised which way they were going in the mixing,
Yeah.
I heard it.
And it's quite a difference. You see that you've especially got 20 channels across the board,
Yeah.
and one instrument just tends to get kind of swamped as you're working on the other ones, and then you realize, I can't hear this fill in the blank, whatever instrument it
Yeah.
is. But once that is main in the mix, it changes the dynamic of the whole song, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, it totally does. Yeah. Yeah. It was our.
Well, we also reached a stage in the studio where I had bought a new amp head. I bought a 50-watt JVM Marshall. And the difference between the sound I had prior to that and when I got that was chalk and cheese. And we all sat back one day and we went, you know what, we've got to re-record a lot of the heavier stuff. So I went in and I spent just a couple of days going over and retracking some of the stuff with the Marshall, and wow, what a difference. But you've got to be careful because, as Jordan explained, it never ends, right?
Yes.
You're a musician,
Yeah.
always chasing the better sound. So what happens next week when I get a new guitar or find different tubes in the Marshall, or a tweak and a mod? You got to be
And
careful.
that's why
so-
that's why when you're paying for it, it's really, it takes the place of what in the digital age there's no limit to the number of tracks you can put on. In the old days you had to really be Sophie's choice about what you were going
Yeah.
to put on it. But I think when you go in and pay in a digital studio, it's the same thing because it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm not going to, what's important or
Yeah.
what's
Yes.
really coming out that needs to be done.
Yes.
So it rocked before. I guarantee it's going to rock now. Another tune off of the new Social Animals release, INNOMINATE. Here is "I Can't Breathe" on barbershoppodcast.com.
I can't breathe. I am falling with
Oh, stupid.
I can't breathe. We're having too much fun here at Barbershop Podcast each and every
the
week.
Control room. The
Yeah.
control room can't breathe either.
You can have this kind of fun each and every week at barbershoppodcast.com. Where can they find us, Ryan Cannon? Because obviously we're so large, it shouldn't be that hard to find us.
Oh, you can find us anywhere. You can find us barbershoppodcast.com. You can find us at Twitter at Podcast Barber, Facebook.com/barbershop podcast, I'm pretty sure. Or you can just search barbershop podcast.
Google us.
Yeah,
we own that
Google
shit
us.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
We come actually if you search I've noticed too, if you search a bunch of bands, one of the second or third thing that'll come up is their episode on the podcast. So that's pretty
Nice.
neat too. Yeah.
That's right. It's really developing into something mighty,
That
isn't
is-
it?
And you
That's
know,
pretty
search engine optimization, might I say,
Might you say? You did
is a
just
very
say.
important thing.
Yeah, it is
I've
a
noticed
skill,
that
isn't it?
from our own website. We need to get more people clicking and linking to our website so that we come up in the search ranking.
Yes.
There's probably devious ways to do it too, but
No,
No,
yeah.
real
But,
people. Same with Barbershop Podcast. We've got 478 or something, 480 real people.
Yep.
Like, and you can go spend $100 and get some poor slob in Indonesia who's clicking likes all day.
Yeah.
But they're not, from your market, and they're not going to advance what you really want to do. So
right.
stop fooling yourself. Chase real people, real
Yes,
fans,
exactly.
and do it that way.
Yes.
So the music business, it offers so much, it provides so little, but it provides so much at the same time. And I think you two basically understand that it's a holistic process, that who you are is the music, and where you're going together certainly is the music.
Yeah.
So
well, when we walk out onto that stage on Saturday, it's been so long in the making that we have our own show, our own band, and an album. We have product to back us up, product that we're proud of and that we worked really hard on. And it's the combination of quite a few years and quite a lot of experiences.
We're learning
Both
to
good and
breathe
bad.
before every single next adventure or venture that we have to go into. Is we have to breathe before we do it, because we want to do it right. We don't want to waste any time with, oh God, we should have done that and didn't do it. We want to think. We're really thorough thinkers, so we're very curious creatures. And how does that work? And why does it work that way? And investigate it first before we do it. So we're,
trust your gut, but do your research.
That's it. Exactly. That's right.
That's a secret in the music business, certainly in Hamilton, Ontario. And if you have an opportunity, visit Hamilton, Ontario, one of the many, many, many venues that feature live music. And we've got the festival season coming up. There's going to be great outdoor music. Make it a part of your life daily. Another thing you should make a part of your life is to go visit our friend James over at Where Heads Meet. Where Heads Meet is on Ottawa Street, another hustling, bustling, burgeoning street in Hamilton, Ontario, the old garment district, where you can still buy all kinds of fabrics and patterns and inserts, but they've got restaurants and boutiques and certainly a lifestyle shop like Where Heads Meet. Go see James Cannon in Ottawa Street. What's the actual address there, Ryan? My eyes are so bad.
Oh, I wasn't ready and didn't look it up.
Isn't it on the ad?
I think it's 192 Ottawa. It's not on the. Yeah, we got to get our stuff together,
Yeah.
our shit together.
Yeah, you can say shit.
Yeah, so now we can mark the explicit. Yeah, I'll get it. We'll throw it out there. We'll throw it out
go
there
see
after
it.
the performance.
It's a fantastic place. If you are a believer in the 420 lifestyle, and the accoutrements that come along with that, some of the fine products in which to combust your lifestyle products, and the
162
Ottawa Street in Hamilton, Ontario. Go see James. Shop full of great musical instruments and. Well, good way to spend half an hour looking around. I'll tell you that much. You won't get bored in there. Go see our friend James at Where Heads Meet. Well, where we're meeting right now is back in the live corner. And even though this CD release is coming out on Saturday, and very excited about the product and how good it sounds at Barbershop Podcast, we still insist on squeezing at least one live performance out of our guests.
And they did insist.
And they did insist.
So
It's hard to say no.
So there it goes. It's hard to say no is not the name of the song. It's the way it's the way it is around here. But we've got
That's right.
Social Animals live off the floor. I am with you awake at barbershoppodcast.com.
Right on. Yeah, let's not make it folky. We're just trying. Yeah, sure. Like a hayride.
I am destined for madness when I think of you this way. I'm spinning over, cloudless emotion, no restrictions contaminate my face. All my senses heightened without the conflicted cage of every empty venture that cascaded through my way. Oh, I'm with you away. Oh, I'm with you awake. If I became the water of the face beneath your skin, I no longer feed the hunger or the echoes from within. All my senses, they're still heightened. The love's away from your embrace. All those moments are still held in balance. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you awake. Though I'm with you awake. Though I'm with you awake. Though I'm with you awake. This air happily as you consumes you. As mother, she chats your knees, thirst and the love and the need. Yeah. I no longer stop for sleep because I'm with you awake. I'm with you, no, I'm with you awake. I'm with you awake. I'm with you, no, I'm with you awake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah is right. And that's Social Animals. I'm with you awake. barbershoppodcast.com. Want to have a little shout out to one of our other great sponsors, and that's Glenn Brown over at Canadian Musician Magazine. He is a great helper of the musicians in town. He has a yearly publication that comes out, and you can check him out online at CanadianMusicianMagazine.com. We've got some great Canadian musicians in the house right now, and that's Social Animals. They've got their CD release party for their brand new baby, Inanimate.
Inanimate. I'm going to start saying it wrong
It's
now.
an N or an 8.
Inanimate.
You have to say it in Latin, really, I think, in order to be proper.
Innominatus. I'm saying it wrong. Innominatus.
It's great. Who had the idea of the
Those are his hands.
Here's hands?
Yeah.
How did you sneak into the?
I was having
Yes,
I was
right.
having an issue playing where my all my joints felt like they were freezing up and aching. And during the course of having that checked out, they wanted to do an X-ray, so they did it overhead of my hands, and Anyway, when we were doing the album artwork, we decided we wanted to use that. So we got in touch with the radiology lab and said, can I use my own x-rays on a commercial product? And they said, I don't know.
That's a yes.
So, yeah, right, yeah.
No, they said, so consider that a no. And they said, we'll get back to you. So they
quite
took it away,
concerned with it. Yeah.
and she asked her boss, who asked her boss, who called me and said, listen, we still don't know. This is bizarre. We've never had this question before. So I went right up to the board and they ended up having a meeting. And about 3 weeks later, they called back and said, yes, you can use them. Just take any identifying marks from our lab off them, which suited us just fine. And I think we got something that was pretty unique.
Yes, something very unique and something, again, it's steeped in reality. You know,
Yes,
it's you know, it's and this whole record is like that. It's a story, it's a tome, and you know, I'm so proud to have you in the studio. I'm so happy for you that this is finally happening.
Yes.
You know, and it's interesting too, because when I've heard people interviewed in the past, even famous recording artists, and they talk about their albums, I've always thought, you know, it's a bit of a wank the way they talk about it. But now I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it now, you know. I could tell you stories till the cows come home about what happened in the studio and how things came to be. No one would care.
No.
But now I understand why people get so deep into it.
And you'll never, ever forget. You
No,
know,
exactly.
It's really our
Never.
magic moments. And it's,
That's right.
and again, you know, if you're an artist, if you're someone who's just starting out, get a demo done. If you have a demo, do an album. If you have an album, do a video, because you're only going to get older, and it's nice to have these little touchstones.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, that's forever.
And if you're just starting out and really, really shy, learn to sing backups or something and go to an open mic and just say, hey, can I cut in and do backup? But then you're going to start meeting people.
Yeah.
I didn't do the backup singing thing. I just went right for the stage. Like, I want to sing. But it's a great way to start, or like even just play something.
It really
You'll
is about the
meet
community and the
musicians.
people that you meet.
And
you know?
Hamilton's
It is
full of
the-
opportunity in that
Yeah.
regard, you know.
Like
There's
I've
an
used-
open mic on every corner.
Yeah, I've used Orange McFarlane a number of times and introduced him
Yeah.
to a number of people, and you're the first people who brought him down and introduced him to
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
this thing happens
It
all
happens.
the time.
It does. It does. And it's the one, I believe it's one of the one type of industry that at this level where we all will take you under.
Yes.
You know, take you by the
And it's kind of
under your wing
libertarian in a
little
way,
bit, like,
in that it takes care
I
of
know
its own,
somebody.
and there's no patience for
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
people, and it doesn't. You don't have to contribute at this level. You just have to have. Do you have passion?
Do you have
interest?
passion, and are you good? Yeah, are you a
and
decent
are you
person?
a decent
Yeah.
person? Are you real?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
real?
Do you, and I always say
I
that.
want to help you
Do I
if you
believe
are.
it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
that's right.
Well, you know what I believe? I believe we're going to hear another tune. So I like hearing the stories. I know that the listeners like hearing the stories about the songs, and if they had a special place or something that they can remember when they hear it. Tell me about Follow You.
Follow you. The truth?
No, I really don't care at this point.
Okay. The truth, I had, before I met Chris, I was quite, you know, I was partying a lot, having a great time. I had a booty call, a guy that, you know, I never have ever used that term before. Oh my God, I didn't. It's just finding out for the first time.
You did not.
Shit.
I thought the song
I
was
thought you
about,
wore loafers.
I thought you were the comfortable shoes.
I thought the song was about me.
No, and I'm not going to say nobody knows the guy anyway,
Yeah.
but he really was. He was just right what I needed for that at that time in my life, and I was for him as well. And then I started getting feelings for him, and then I was like, the only way that I can get out of this is to really, like, what would I, you know, dislike the guy, and it's such a counterproductive thing is to dislike somebody just so that you can feel better about yourself, but it was the only way to do it, and
Careful, you're digging yourself a hole.
Yeah, no.
I am digging myself a hole.
But I'm like everyone else.
True.
I'm thinking about when I did it or when it happened to
Yes,
me, because
yeah.
it's like you're not the only person.
right, exactly. So this what this song is about, the hunter and the huntsman,
Yeah.
and because I would call him a lot, and then there was times when I backed off and was like, okay, I think I'll just move on now, and then he would call me and I'd be right back in there and like, oh, you know, I'll gooing on whatever.
Yeah, well, it's good fodder for music, and that's
It
what you
is.
need.
It is, yeah.
We got a little bit of history, and
Yeah.
we're going to hear it here from the brand new record by Social Animals here on barbershoppodcast.com.
Awesome. No.
just before you need me to be your life. Here's a little truth for you, alright. I don't wanna be your high tonight. I want you in my light, yeah, my line of sight. That's okay for you to leave without a thought that I might follow you. I will follow you, yeah. You'll never know I'm closing in until you feel me. I'm tearing at your skin. I can't think of a better friend than when I feed on you. You thought that I'd be your prize, yeah, right. That I'd fulfill your sick needs every night. You didn't know that I could fight. I got you in my light, you're my line of sight. Here's a little truth, you got nowhere to go. That I won't follow you. I will follow you, yeah. You feel my breath on you, I'm closing in until you feel my nails tearing at your skin. I'm tearing at your skin, yeah. Oh, baby, you better run. I'm coming after, yeah, I'm coming after you, yeah. Here I go, I'm coming after you, yeah. Run on me, baby. I'm coming after you, yeah. Run, baby. I'm coming after you. Here I come, I won't be your high tonight, yeah.
That's Follow You from Social Animals, one of Hamilton's great finds. Make sure you find them. Share this podcast with all your friends and family. Come out on Saturday night, June 7th, to the Pearl Company, located at 16 Stephen Street in Hamilton, Ontario. Look it up. They've got a Facebook page. They've got a Google page. If just put it in a computer, and the answers are all provided for you. Live music each and every week, and it's out there. It's out there during the week. It's out there on the weekends. You can find it in the small places. You can find it in the big places. Do yourself a favor and be a patron of the arts of the live music. Now, you've got a couple little things planned up for the show on Saturday, a little meet and greet, and you got some snacks. It's an intimate environment. They've got couches and soft seats in there.
Yeah,
and you're playing the record. You're not going in here and doing a thing. You're saying, this is us doing our representation of what we've put together on this CD. And that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, it's intimate, and that's how we know our friends and fans that way anyway. It's our friends are our fans, and there's some fans there that we haven't met that'll be, that we're excited to meet.
Right.
And we wanted to make it intimate so that we could do that. And it's not just, listen, we're just a bar band, and this is what we're just throwing this out there, and here's our CD, and we're released, and that's it. We really want to make it a special night,
we were to do
not
this,
just for us, but for them, for our future fans, our friends, our supporters.
And if we were to do this at a bar has to make money selling beer, so they would have to have some opening acts. And
That was the other,
and we wanted the night to be about the band
music.
and
People
the
go
Yeah.
up, they see the show, they
That's
leave.
right. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Christa is going to be putting a bunch of her oil paintings on display, and
Right. Yes.
having a silent auction there for those. So this is the first time display for her. She's normally a
Nice.
living room painter who doesn't display outside
They
the
all
living room.
oils or what?
They're all there's one acrylic, but yeah, there's one acrylic on cardstock, but the rest of them are on oils, and it's another one of my baby things that it's like, okay, I have to get rid of, I have to sell them.
Yeah.
I have to let go and keep doing it. Otherwise, I'll just clutter myself with things that I'll never let appreciate themselves by selling or.
With the release of the album, release some artwork
Release some
as well.
artwork as well.
Exactly, and you have to build on that,
Yeah.
right? And you sustain it. And quite often, artists have other artistic skills, and if they can do that, and
Absolutely.
they've already have people who are interested, and like, why wouldn't you?
That's right. You got to tap into all areas if you can, if you're able to, and in order to let go, you have to. Yeah, or in order to grow, you need to let go, right? Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Before we're going to play another tune before you head off for your final rehearsal before the big show. But is there anyone you want to say hi to and kind of thank for helping bring this thing along? That and you're going to feel bad about it. Who am I going to forget?
Who am I
And
gonna
you'll have a
forget?
chance after the song
Is
for
this with
anyone
my
you
Juno?
forgot.
I'd like to thank Kevin Barber. He's
And Ryan-
amazing.
and Ryan Cannon.
Oh my god! I can't believe I'm here. Is that
Did we get that, Ryan? Can we put that on a GIF loop?
OMG?
And of course, I'd like to thank God.
I don't think I've ever been part of an acceptance speech
That's
before.
great. You're part of it now.
Thanks.
Of course, we do want to thank you and Ryan, though, for having us and for believing in us and for supporting us as you do with so many musicians. But
And we won't forget you after Saturday
No,
night
we
when
won't
with
forget
our
you after
rise to
Saturday night.
stardom on Saturday night. We won't forget you.
We are
No,
we
of
are
course
the
not.
biggest of the little people.
Yeah.
The biggest of the little people. That's right.
No, if there are some serious thank yous that need to go out, it's
shout out
to
some thank
it's to
yous.
our families who put up with us while we
Yeah.
talked about this through email
Yes.
and through phone
When
calls.
is it ready? Is it ready? You promised us Christmas.
Yeah.
When is it ready?
2012.
So let me tell you about my family in Australia. We sent them Christmas cards, and I mistakenly thought we'd have it ready just after Christmas.
Mistaken.
And so we sent them Christmas cards, and we said, we owe you one copy of INNOMINATE to be posted shortly, right? And then time went on, and
Bastards
Never
screwed us
happened.
over. They don't
yeah.
love us anymore.
That's right.
so we got cards for Christmas. But now they've all got their copies now, and they're all very happy. So.
And if he's watching, Jordan Abraham, if he's watching, he knew that we were on our way over here. So big shout out to our producer, who's been with us through the happy and sad.
Through
moments.
thick and
Through
thin.
thick and thin,
Yeah.
literally
Yeah,
through
just
thick and thin.
But it was really interesting because just going back to that production side of things for a moment, Jordan wasn't the type that would say, this is how it's going to be. He would lead us on a little journey. And
This is its possibilities.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go with it?
And then he'd send you home with homework and he'd say, Chris, take that electric guitar home, come back and show me what you got for that part of that track.
Yeah.
And I'd go, oh, well, I haven't got anything. He'd go, well, come back when you have. And I'd go home a couple of days later and I, all the time, I'd come up with something that thrilled me. And I'd go, oh, wow, I can't wait to take this back to
But
Jordan,
by-
you know.
It's like a good psychiatrist. Just ask the question.
Exactly.
and lets
Yes.
you-
Yeah.
Exactly
Focusing.
that.
You're focusing and isolating. That's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
It's true.
It
It's
is.
it's a mind fuck, but
It is.
And that's when
that
we.
could be a good thing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's when we. That's
It
when
works
we
for
supposed
us.
to be.
It works
But that's
for
when we
us,
truly
yeah.
understood what a producer does.
Yeah.
I had a different idea in mind of what a
More of a
producer's job was.
taskmaster, the
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
school.
That's right. Oh, totally old school. Yeah. You don't find them like
No.
like this.
Here's the arrangement. Do not deviate. You
Yeah.
know, it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
like
yeah.
that at
It's
all.
it's
No.
changed now, where it's much more of someone who enlists the performance from the artist that they're capable of.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know, and
that's
everyone's
right.
different, but being able to work, say that distance between kicking the ass and patting the back is about 10 inches.
Yes, that's
and,
right.
And working
Yeah.
very effectively is what makes somebody good at that job.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're gonna play one more. There's 10 songs in total, but this is the last one you're gonna hear from us tonight. If you want to hear the rest, you want to get your own copy in a nice WAV file, a nice jewel case, and you get yourself down to the Pearl Company on Saturday night. Doors open at 8. The show starts at 9 o'clock sharp. 16 Stephen Street in Hamilton.
Can I just say one thing? www.socialanimals.ca is our website. There's pictures up there. There's sample tracks. And soon there'll be a link to purchase the album. But if you want to get to know us further, drop us an email or anything. It all can be done from the website.
Socialanimals.ca.
Yeah.
You've heard it here. Again, the link will be on the barbershoppodcast.com page at the end of the write-up for this episode. But right now we're going to play a song that you debuted for the world here at our 1-year anniversary show, a lovely song called Your Voice, My Head.
That's right.
And,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing the full treatment. And
Yes.
We're going to hear it right now at barbershoppodcast.com.
Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, Kev.
Oh, that didn't get in there.
I'm a disaster in the making. I wish it was because of you. Truth is, I've been hiding in myself all the wrong I'm a magnet to. Always some kind of war in my head. You're beside me, holding the line. But I find I'm better when I'm mad. That has no effect on you. No, I will drag you down my blood. All I feel you were freely, but you stayed. Your voice, my head. I wrote a letter to myself just to say that it came from you. That way it would read just how I wanted it to. I don't care now about those words, 'cause I've come to realize I can't remember the last time I said that I was wrong and you were right. Yeah, I will drag you down my road. All I feel you were freely, but you said I will drag you down my road. All I feel you were free to leave, but you said your voice, my head. Your voice, my head. Your voice, my I'm a disaster in the making. That has no effect on you.
All right. Barbershop Podcast right here each and every week, every Wednesday. You're going to watch us on Justin TV, or you're going to watch us on our website for the Bradburys and DOG and
DOG getting kissed
Ryan
down
Cannon
here.
and
Yeah.
Gary Greenland. We
Yeah.
want to thank everyone who's made tonight another fantastic show. Number 80 in the bag. Ryan
In the
Cannon.
bag.
Great stuff.
We're going to be hitting triple digits pretty soon.
That's right.
We got 20 weeks to plan the 100th episode.
100th episode. That'll have to be epic.
It will be.
We'll do the Century Club.
We got some that might be a horrible idea.
Some of us never grow up. All right. Have a good night. Have a good week. Have a good life. BarbershopPodcast.com. You know we love you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.